The downsides of buying turnkey rental properties. That's today's video. Let's dive in. Hey there, I'm Clayton Morris, longtime real estate investor and founder of Morris Invest. Thanks so much for dialing up our channel and subscribing. I'm thrilled that you're here. And today we're going to talk about the downsides of buying turnkey rental properties. So let's dive into it. You know, when you're getting started and you want to build your portfolio quickly, turnkey rentals can be a really attractive way to do that. It's hands-off, you don't have to be there, it's fully managed for you. You just put up the cash for the property and you've got a tenant in place, cash flowing rental property, fully done for you from A to Z. That's great. But there are some downsides to buying turnkey rental properties. Let's dive into it. Number one downside to buying turnkey rental properties, it's hands-off. So if you like to get your hands dirty, if you really like to control the whole process, that is, you like to manage contractors, you like to cut drywall, you like to put up siding, you like to manage roofers, electricians, you like to nitpick and follow every little thing along the way, what kind of paint color, carpet, all of those things, the hardwood floors, all of those things. If you like a hands-on approach to real estate investing, then doing turnkey rentals and buying from a turnkey provider is not going to be for you. Absolutely not. If you are a control freak, and let's be honest, if you're honest with yourself, are you a control freak? If you are, then buying turnkey is probably not the solution for you. Because if you're going to want to be on the phone every day managing your rentals like that, then you should probably do it yourself. Take it from somebody who knows. I know individuals who are control freaks. They like to do everything themselves. They like to be out there every day. They like to meet with the contractors. They like to see that this is happening. If you are a control freak, then turnkey real estate investing is not for you. Stay away from it. You will not be happy. I'm telling you, stay away. Number two downside to buying turnkey rental properties. Number two is that not all turnkey providers are reputable. You need to do your homework. I recently heard a story about a group of investors out of Hawaii. They purchased a bunch of properties about a year ago from a turnkey provider or an alleged turnkey provider. And after about 5 or 6 months of owning these properties, they were sitting vacant and they were wondering where their rent checks were. And basically this little phony company sort of folded up and disappeared. And these Hawaiian investors were left holding these properties that ended up not producing cash flow. They paid too much for those properties and they couldn't get tenants in those properties. What are they going to do? Unfortunately, I ended up buying them from the Hawaiians and at a loss. They actually took a loss on the properties. They paid more than they were worth. They didn't cash flow. They couldn't find tenants for it. So you need to be careful and make sure that you're working with a reputable turnkey provider. So you absolutely want to ask for testimonials. You want to hear from people who have actually purchased properties from the company before. Ask for some testimonials. Make sure that the company actually does what it says it's going to do. Hear from happy customers, right? There's no better way than to find out if a company actually exists and is doing real work than to talk from people who actually own properties from that company and who are receiving rent checks on a regular basis. No one wants to work with a phony company. So don't do it. Don't get suckered into that kind of stuff. Work with reputable companies that have testimonials that they can share. Number three downside to buying turnkey rentals is ROI, return on investment. You know, a lot of people have money in the stock market and they make a 3 or 4 or 5% return on their money. That is okay. It's kind of low. But when you work with a turnkey provider, ask them, what is the typical net ROI on the property that I'm going to buy? Net, not gross. Gross is before expenses and other things are removed. What is the net ROI? Now, if they're telling you, if they're giving you a gross ROI number, they're telling you it's going to be 20% or 25%, and you ask them, is that gross ROI? Well, oh yeah, that's gross ROI. That's a red flag. You want to know what the net is after expenses, insurance, taxes, those types of things. And if they tell you 2-3% net, that's basically what you're getting in the stock market or even a little bit lower. Make sure that your ROI is high. The whole point of getting into real estate investing is for ROI. I have so many videos here where I talk about the power of return on investment and why that's the most important thing, not the 4 walls and a roof, just return on investments. That's the whole reason we're doing this, right? So find out, make sure that that ROI is high. Personally, I don't buy properties unless I can hit a 10 to 12% net ROI. Net ROI. Why would you settle for anything less than that? So make sure when you're talking to a turnkey provider that their net ROI is high. If it's not, why not just invest in the stock market? Number four on the list, the downsides of buying from a turnkey rental provider. Find out the costs. Very often turnkey providers will nickel and dime you, and they kind of don't tell you about it. They'll kind of hide it, and you'll find out later. And I've heard horror stories from people that found out later after they bought turnkey properties. For instance, here's a scenario. If a turnkey provider, if you get a maintenance call on your house and a plumber has to go out and fix the toilet, happens, right? Something gets a clog. Are you going to just pay the plumber? You should. Why then would you pay an additional percentage or fee to the turnkey company to call the plumber to go out to the property? So certain companies will charge you additional maintenance fees, 10% or so, on top of the fee that you're going to pay for maintenance. So watch out for little fiddly costs, hidden costs to go out to your property to check on things. Let's say there's a storm, thunderstorm. Is your team that you work with, your property management team or your turnkey provider, are they going to go out and check on your property, or are they going to charge you? I heard from another investor who told me this. One of their teams went out and charged them $70 just to drive and look at the house. They called that a site visit and charged them for a site visit. Be aware of those little fiddly costs that can add up. Make sure you ask those questions up front. Does your team charge an additional fee for maintenance? Do you charge for site visits? Are all of those things extra that we are paying a turnkey provider? So look for those little hidden costs. It's kind of like the phone company. You see those things adding up on your bill, and they can be costly, so ask about them. Number 5 downside from buying from a turnkey provider. Okay, maybe you're in California and you hear that certain cities offer, have a turnkey service. Great. But you need to be aware of the vacancy rate. No turnkey company is better or much better than the vacancy rate of the city that you're buying. So make sure you ask your turnkey provider what the vacancy rate is for that area. And they cannot beat the vacancy rate. It's going to be very difficult for them to fill that property with a tenant if their vacancy rate is above 10% or 12%. There are certain cities where the crime is very high and the vacancies are very high and they have one employer in the town. Great that there's a turnkey provider there, but if the vacancy rate is through the roof, you probably want to avoid that. It's going to be very difficult for them to get a tenant in the property. So that can be a downside, vacancy rate. Make sure that you know what the vacancy rates are and that you're getting a low vacancy rate. So those are 5 downsides to working with a turnkey rental provider. I hope this was helpful. I want to protect you, make sure you have the education to go out there and make great decisions about your real estate investing future. We have other great videos in this series on turnkey providers. We also have getting started videos. We have whole playlists. Just go down in the description below in this video, click on the Show More tab, and you'll see the links to other videos in this series. Please subscribe also to this channel. Just click the button over here to subscribe, and we'll see you back here. We publish videos multiple times a week, everyone. I want you to go out there, take action, and become a real estate investor. It's the best way to create passive income. We'll see you next time.